Thomas, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna crown us Kings of the North.
Who would have
Big
thought?
dubs.
Who would have thought
Big
that
dub.
we'd be
I
here?
mean, I'm surprised about the Steelers. I'm surprised
Who
about the Steelers.
who would have thought that we'd both be here at this moment?
I know. I know.
Like I
Little
was
little
very sure you would.
little
Me?
Game of Thrones references. The Kings of the North. But that's crowning us. I don't like to imitate LeBron, but I will with that with the crown.
I was very prepared for the Steelers to be like bottom of the AFC North this season,
Yeah.
and look where we are now. You know, this is the most real this team has been since like 2017.
Yeah. It's been a long time. Yeah, and that's probably so exciting too. I can't imagine
I
what you're
know.
feeling.
Like all the power rankings are coming out, and it's like Lions and
Yeah.
Steelers too, and it's like, oh yeah,
They're a top five team in the league right now, I'd say.
yeah. I mean,
So
we know how to pick them, you know. What can we say?
yeah, no, and what was thought to be a questionable decision with the whole let Russ start thing has done a complete 180 and he's yet to lose.
You know,
So
Mikey T,
or has he lost?
he's been around for no, he hasn't lost yet. I
That's
don't.
what I thought. That's what I thought. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's yet to lose.
And they're not winning in spite of him, you know. Like
Right, yeah,
he's
no, like
actually playing well.
he's
It's
contributing. Yeah. No, that
not
it's
just the
been really
defense, you know.
really exciting and a huge game that you guys just won too this past weekend against
Yeah,
the Ravens.
he's 1-0 in Ravens Steelers week. You know, it's
To be fair, not that hard to beat the Ravens if you're on the Steelers, as Kenny Pickett has is undefeated against them too. And the Steelers have won eight of the past nine. But yeah, no, I mean, played fine. I would say Chris Boswell is your goat still. That dude
yeah.
is probably the
Crown
best kicker in the
him
league.
best
Probably the
kicker in the
best
league
kicker in the
right now.
league right now.
Best kicker in the league right now.
Definitely, because
Honestly,
obviously we saw Tucker. He's washed. He's been washed.
Justin
Yeah,
Tucker ass.
yep,
Okay. Well, Brandon Aubrey might have an argument. It's just
it's
the
fair.
rest of the Cowboys suck.
Yeah, yeah. Not enough opportunity for Aubrey to really showcase
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
his value.
I
Yeah,
apologize if
no,
you can hear that in the background, by the way, Tyler. I don't know if you hear what's going on.
I can't hear anything.
Oh, you can't hear anything? Okay, so
No, no.
for all the deaf people at home also, my cat is deciding to step on a bunch of paper that we have for the rabbit to chew, and he's smacking it, and so now I have that to listen to.
Nice. That's fun, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Could
yeah,
invest in a
she's not
headset. That
dying
might
like we thought she was, you know.
that's good, yeah.
We count our
Say
blessings when we have them.
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And
The
so you could
cat,
invest in
the
in some headphones or a headset and that might help with the noise, but
no, no, you know,
oh, okay. Okay.
we do it live. We do it live.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Fair. Fair. Um, yeah, big one for the Lions. I was expecting that. Um, so I really don't. I honestly I don't have much light to shed on the Lions anymore at this point. I go into every week assuming that we're gonna win. And most of the time I assume we're gonna win by double digit points, which it might sound super cocky. But it's just something that I've grown to just assume, I guess, with this team. Um, I do get worried about when the playoffs come, just because I want us to stay consistent going into the playoffs. And I mean, we've been killing these teams, um, but we have been tested too, like with the Texans game and everything like that. So, um,
Yeah, I think this is one of this. It's one of those things where when you have a good team, it's a lot harder to come up with stuff to actually say about them.
yeah,
Besides like,
it's
yeah, they're good, right?
I mean, it's as simple as that. Like anyone that is listening to this probably watches one, the Lions, and two, watches the NFL frequently enough to know that the Lions are really, really fucking good.
Yeah, and like, yeah, they're blowing out the teams that they should be blowing out.
Right.
And
Mac Jones,
they're
Mac Jones
winning
and
the close
company.
games that are everyone's expecting to be close.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know exactly what that means for what happens when they enter the playoffs. Like, it certainly looks good. They've shown that they
Yeah.
can win a close game. They've shown that they can overcome adversity a la the Texans game, but they've
Yeah.
also shown that the bottom feeders of the league don't even really have a chance to hang around with them. So,
Yeah.
I mean, from the eye test of the regular season, they're showing, yeah, this is we can play the kind of playoff football that we need to through
Yeah.
those games that are closer, but also, yeah, like
There's just no like there's literally no team in the league that scares me. I would honestly say that the Steelers, like if the Lions face the Steelers in the Super Bowl, I would be scared for that matchup. Just because I know the Steelers defense is phenomenal and their offense has been good enough to continuously put points up on the board. So I would be worried about that matchup. I'm glad that the Chiefs were finally lost and finally get to see that they're a bum team. Um, and it was great. It was great to see. I'm a hater. I'm gonna hate. I loved it. Wait, to be fair, I took a nap, so I woke up to the end of the game. That Josh Allen run was insane. But yeah, I was really happy when I woke
did
up and
you
I saw
wake
that
did
they
you wake
finally
up
lost
for the run or did you wake up after the run?
after the run. It was
Ah,
unfortunate that I missed it live. I had to just
that
see
would have been
clips of
so
it.
funny if the moment you wake up is when he just takes off to run.
That was an insane run, by the way. That was crazy.
Mm.
Josh Allen icing the game. But yeah, it was good to see Mahomes didn't have that great of a game either, too. So
Yeah, look, the Chiefs have been like skating by
yeah,
with wins all year, which at the same time, like those are the games you're gonna have to win in the playoffs, or like the games where
yeah,
like you're throwing up a stinker and like either your
right,
offense or your defense has to come through for you.
yep,
But also, it doesn't look good for you to be that every single game.
yeah, no,
So I don't know. Glad they finally lost because if they bullshitted their way to undefeated season, that would be insane. But at the same time, it's also just you're so scared to count them out as an
I know.
contender.
I still won't do
Right.
it. I want to just because Mahomes has continued to be really bad.
Mm,
Um, their defense is just too good. And as much as Mahomes has been really bad, his really bad is like average, right? Like
yeah,
it's like he's not actually really bad. He's just not he's not playing like Patrick Mahomes. He's just like
yeah,
an average
exactly.
quarterback.
Right.
So if he even takes a step up, it's like, damn, these guys are good again, you know?
Yeah, and it's also difficult to gauge them because the division they're in isn't that great.
Fair, yeah.
Like Raiders suck. Broncos kind of frisky actually, but like
They're they're like frauds though, because like I feel like they beat the hell out of these bum teams, and then every other team like when they played the Ravens, they got obliterated.
yeah, that's why I said
Um,
frisky. They did have
yeah,
like
yeah.
they had like the Buccaneers game or whatever, but then the Buccaneers also kind of sucked, but that's also
Well,
Buccaneers season.
I
So
here's a funny stat for you. The Sean Payton or the Broncos, I should say, obviously coached by Sean Payton. He's 4-0 against the NFC South with an 88 point differential
so
of
Sean
the
Payton just knows how to win in
So
the
he just knows how to
NFC
beat the
South.
piss out of NFC South teams.
I mean,
Yes.
he had been doing it for what, like a decade with the Saints.
Right.
So I mean,
Right. So
fair.
something to consider when talking about the Broncos. But yeah, I mean they're I mean they have a positive record. They're a solid team. Bo Nix has looked pretty good. Um, dark horse for offensive rookie of the year.
Yeah, especially
Um,
if, and it's not. I don't think it's because Jaden Daniels is like declining in terms of like actual like play. I think it's he's not healthy, which is why he's
right.
playing as well. It's not
Right.
like a lot of other stuff. Like it's very clear he's not able to get the same
hmm
uh power on his throws as he used to. And I also really need to take back the division they're in isn't that good because the Chargers are also good.
I was gonna say when you said that
It's
at first
really just the Raiders.
my initial response was like, yeah, he's right. And then I was like, wait a second. The Chargers are 7-3, the Broncos are six and
It just
five. Like
feels so weird that they're that way
I
right
agree.
now.
I agree. I agree.
Like when you actually like, I get it and that I'm actually wrong, but at the same time in my mind, how can I be wrong about that?
Yeah. Right. I
But
know.
then actually remembering, oh yeah, the Chargers are actually playing well now.
Yeah.
And then, oh yeah, the Broncos are, you know,
Somewhat legitimate. Yeah.
somewhat legitimate. Yeah. But again, I don't think that it's one of those divisions that you're necessarily convinced that the teams that are winning are like actually going to compete in the playoffs,
Right. Right.
right?
Like good playoff teams. I get what you're
Yeah.
saying. Yeah.
Like it's one of those things where it's like you expect the Broncos or the Chargers, if they make the playoffs, to lose in the wild card round. You're not
Yeah.
expecting them
Right. Right.
to make a
Yeah.
push for the, divisional or even champion, like let alone championship round. So
Yeah. Yeah.
not to save my own ass on that, but
No, no, no. I definitely get what you're saying, and I agree with you as well too.
I
Um,
need to walk through my logic still because on the literal face of it, I was totally wrong.
the thought for that, right? It might not seem like actually look true, but the thought process behind it is they're not like super legitimate teams. Like their records might say otherwise, but like they're probably not going to make a run deep.
Yeah.
None of those teams are going to make a run deep, other than probably the Chiefs, which they're good at doing, obviously. Um, I swear if they three-peat, man, I won't be able to do it. I might go and I might have to like
If
I don't
they
know.
if they three-peat, I'm actually done next season.
I there's already enough like
I just
glazing going on with the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. Like if they three-peated, oh my God, it would be on another level.
I also just think like this is the point where all of the stuff the Chiefs have lost on offense
Yeah.
really seems like it should be catching up to them,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Like not only like the losses of talent to other teams, but also through injuries.
Hmm.
Like they've been able to figure it all out so well
Yeah.
the last couple of years, despite losing guys, and now
Yeah.
it's like maybe
Well,
it's
I mean, Pacheco goes down for majority of the year. They just signed Kareem Hunt off the
yeah,
streets. He's been phenomenal since they signed him. He's done great. He's been putting up numbers. Hollywood Brown hasn't touched the field once. He's done. Rashee Rice was having a great year. He's dead. They're still winning without both those players.
yeah. I guess my point is still like to the playoffs point, where it's like, are these guys gonna hold up in the playoffs?
Okay, I get what you're saying. That's fair. That's
Because
fair.
like there, it's a different beast in the regular season versus the playoffs, especially when like not to the extent of Kareem Hunt, but
Hmm.
more so those receivers that are coming in to replace Rashee Rice, and
Right. Right.
like, none of them has really jumped into that role that Rice was filling.
Hmm.
Like Worthy's been good, don't get me wrong, but he's also, he's also had moments where he just doesn't get as much stuff done because, like a more physical corner can kind of deal with him a little bit better.
Right. And I feel like you have to scheme more to get him
Mhm.
his looks too. Like you has to be very schemed for
Yeah,
him to get his looks and everything like that as well too.
it's like I don't know. Especially, it just seems like so many of these moves that they've made, just they're all screaming, "Oh, we need to get our next Tyreek Hill in." Like
Yep.
the Hollywood Brown trade,
Hmm.
like screams discount Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Bringing back Mecole Hardman screams diet
Yeah. Hmm.
Tyreek Hill. All those kinds of things where it's like, yeah, Xavier Worthy is probably the best move to try and replace Hill in
Right.
some respect, but at the same time, like
There's no replacing Tyreek Hill,
you
right?
can't replace him.
Yeah.
He's a top five receiver in the NFL.
Yeah. No.
Even
There's
though right
there's
now
no
the
replacing him.
the Dolphins have just sucked, and he hasn't been able to do much because of it.
Yeah. Well, you know, not the biggest Tua fan over here, so I'll just tell you
Well,
that's
we
the
are
reason
not a
why.
Tua fan podcast,
Yeah. We are not a part of Tua on.
although that just seems to be like a regular thing that people just don't believe in Tua anymore, which is fine.
I don't I never I don't know. I
I
never
was
liked
such a
them. I
believer in
don't ever
him
like Alabama
at
quarterbacks.
Alabama. I was like, man, this guy, right? Because he looked so different than like every Alabama quarterback I had seen
Hmm.
previously,
Fair.
or it's like, oh, he's like actually making plays. Like guys aren't just immediately open. Like he's actually throwing with anticipation and all this
Right,
other kind of
right,
crap.
right.
Which I do think that one thing Tua does well is he does throw with anticipation well. It's
Mhm.
just sometimes he also anticipates the wrong thing and throws the most god awful interception we've
Yeah.
ever seen.
Atrocious interception, yeah.
So yeah, not to just I just also really want him to retire. And it's
An
not because
another, you want to know another thing he's good at? Lowering his head to make tackles.
dude, like he needs to retire. Okay, like I'm saying this not from a hatred for Tua, but because I would actually, if Tua fucking dies on a football field, I'm not watching the NFL ever again.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
That would be really bad if that happened.
but it's like if any player's going to do it at this point, it's like, dude, he just keeps taking like hits to the head, and it's like
Yeah. He's kind
just,
of lined up for it, yeah, if anyone's gonna do it other
and the
than
more it
I guess
happens, the more likely it is to occur again.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
his brain
just,
his brain might just explode one of these days. Literally. He might just like fucking snap the ball and his brain just blows up and he drops to the ground.
yeah, I just, I know that he wants to keep playing. I mean, I totally get it. I would want to keep playing, right? Like,
Right, 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 right.
but at the same time, it's just, you can't discount your health, man.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, dude, another good example, Chris Olave, he might
oh,
need
yeah,
to retire from football too,
yeah, it's just,
because he's a concussion machine and his are really bad too.
mhm. Yeah,
Like
I
I thought he
just,
was dead. I thought he was dead for a second. When he got pancaked
yeah,
against who was it? The Panthers, I think.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just, and it's so you can't force it to them to retire. Obviously, like they can do what they want. It's their body,
Right.
but at the same time, man, the NFL just needs to like encourage them to. I don't
Yeah.
know. But
Yeah.
also, I was watching, and this could be like terrible science,
Hmm.
right? I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be a scientist,
Okay.
but there is a different football league, not the NFL. I don't know what it's called, but they don't use helmets.
Oh, really?
And their logic behind it is if they don't use helmets, players are going to protect their heads naturally
Right,
by
right.
doing proper tackling techniques.
That's actually a fair point, I would say.
And my thought is that counts kind of like rugby in a
Right,
way, where like
right,
rugby players don't wear helmets. Like they'll wear like the really soft, like small, soft, padded
right, right.
headgear sometimes, but they don't really wear helmets. And so I don't know. This could be terrible. I could have it completely wrong, but it was interesting because maybe it works.
The thing
It's
is like
interesting to
if
see
you
how that actually works.
I feel like if you try to add that to the game, it's such a big change where like football players are used to trying to
Mhm.
tackle with a helmet on, right? So like they're gonna have that natural instinct to just react that way. So I feel like the growing pains would be really bad with it. Um,
Yeah.
but
And
then
I
again, like you
also,
said, like their
for all we
natural
know, like
instinct.
concussions are insanely high for that league too.
Right, right,
We don't know.
right. Yeah. You could be right with like the natural instinct thing too. Like their natural instinct might automatically start snapping and be like, all right, like I have nothing protecting my head. So I can't lead with my head. I can't do this. I
Yeah.
can't do that, you know.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. That was just something interesting I saw. It will be interesting to see if that league actually, I don't even remember what it was called, but it'll be interesting to see if that league like records numbers for concussions or something.
Right.
That would
If
be
there's like a
interesting to
study that
find
comes
out
out down the road of
what
like
what the
numbers
numbers are on
compared.
that.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, that's not football play. That's just us getting kind of doom and gloom about
Right. Yeah.
player health, you know?
Yeah.
Speaking of players we hate, though, Aaron Rodgers, dude, the Jets bring this on themselves, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's,
It's all their fault, man.
it's just so embarrassing. If I was a Jets fan, I would actually just
Hate your life.
run away from home. Never,
Yeah.
never go back. Never return to the city of Newark, New Jersey, or wherever that their stadium is.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, no, it's not good. And just the fact that they let Rodgers basically be the GM with free agency moves, because on paper their GM was good at drafting, right? Like
Yeah. I saw
he
he had a
got
lot
good
of good
guys,
draft picks. Yeah. He had a lot of good draft picks.
but they also let Aaron Rodgers run the show, bring in
Yeah.
his guys, and
Hmm. Hmm.
well,
Yeah, we see how
it
that's
didn't
worked
work
out.
out. Like
Yeah.
it's the same thing with like the when LeBron was in Cleveland, and towards the end of his time, he was just bringing in the guys that he wanted, and they weren't good, right?
You
Like
mean like LeBron everywhere he goes? Like how he had his son drafted to his current
yeah,
team,
I feel
stuff
like
like that.
like with LeBron, it's always like good early stage, and then late stage, it's like not so good.
Yeah.
Because by the end of it, it's like we're trying to keep him healthy. Let's bring
Yeah.
in this guy that maybe it's not him forcing their hand to bring him in, but they're bringing him in because they think it's going to make him.
We want to please LeBron. Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's
Or
the
Aaron
Aaron
Rodgers in this
Rodgers
situation. Yeah.
bit. Like he's basically doing the same shit, except the NFL is not even remotely like the NBA. You can't even build a playoff team that way, right? At least with the NBA, like raw talent can
Right.
outweigh stuff.
And there's less pieces to the puzzle
Mhm.
too, right? There's only five people on the floor at once.
Yeah. And one, like we saw it in Cleveland, one guy can take you to the playoffs. And,
Yeah.
maybe for most players in the NBA, they can't carry you to a finals, but the guy
No.
that the Cavs had could carry them to the finals.
Yeah. Right.
Rodgers is nowhere near a kind of guy that can carry a team to the final, to the Super Bowl, let alone the
Yeah. No.
playoffs at this point. I fully believe that he's not throwing downfield late in the game because he doesn't want to increase his interceptions. Like, who I wouldn't want him on the team anymore.
No.
Like, just bench him for Tyrod, honestly.
Seriously. Yeah. I mean, he probably gives you just as good of a chance to win games that Aaron Rodgers does at this point.
At least Tyrod wouldn't be afraid to like let a ball rip. Like
Right. Yeah.
obviously
No.
he has his own limitations, but
Yeah.
mm, he's shown in his stints where he has started that he can actually have the balls to do something. It
Yeah.
just so happens he's made of paper mache. Uh,
Yeah. It's the unfortunate part about the whole situation with Rodgers is like you look at like a guy like Joe Burrow in Cincinnati where he's been balling out. Like he's been doing abs everything that he absolutely can, and his team is atrocious
so
around
bad.
him, and he
Yeah.
has no help at all. And he's doing his hardest to try and carry them to a positive record. Um, and I just feel like if you put him on like the Jets, then he
Oh, for
does so
sure.
much more. Like they have so many more wins on their hands than someone like Rodgers who has been honestly like abysmal this year.
Mhm.
Um,
Like,
and almost and probably you could say he's been just a negative piece of the team. Like
yeah,
I
he doesn't move around. He
yeah.
refuses to throw balls downfield that
Hmm.
are even, if it's not a 100% chance of a completion, he's not going to throw it.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow, if you gave the Bengals the Jets defense, the Bengals are probably first in the FC North right now.
Yeah.
That the offense for the Bengals is not even remotely the problem right now. It's
No.
that defense is so bad.
Yeah.
They'll lose 31-30 because
Hmm.
their defense just sucks.
Yep.
So, yeah, like it's just a very unfortunate thing if I'm a Jets fan because they've been so bad for so long. You kind
Yeah.
of have to feel bad for them, right?
I guess. Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just
Also, I don't know. It's like New York fans. Like,
I feel
mo
like I have a little bit more sympathy for Jets fans than Giants fans.
yeah.
Because I feel like Jets fans just get strung along every single year. The
Yeah.
Giants fans have at least been able to enjoy some semblance of competency at least twice a century or something.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Like the Jets have just been
I mean, they haven't been to the
tragic.
playoffs since like Mark Sanchez. So,
Yeah. I don't think yeah, it's been since Mark Sanchez that they made the playoffs. That's how bad it is. I think they have the longest playoff drought, right?
that's a good question. They
Almost certainly.
might.
Almost
I'll,
certainly.
I'll look it up right now. You can keep going.
Oh, my big brain is going to just come up with all the other team that magically hasn't made the playoffs. It might just be no, even the Sacramento Kings have made the playoffs, so it's not the Sacramento Kings. I'm not
They
including
were
Avery.
they were tied for first with all of the big four, it says right here. So it says 13 seasons. They're tied with the Buffalo Sabres. So
Yeah,
hockey.
yeah, it's been pretty bad. Also a New York team that,
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't know.
that's insane. Unfortunate. Very
The thing is,
unfortunate.
it's just time for them to shut it down.
I mean, to be fair, I can kind of like come from a relatable side with like the Lions, I feel like, being a Lions fan. Like I know what that's like. It's horrible.
Yeah,
And there's a piece in you that will never let your team die. There's always like that slim sliver of hope that you have for no reason at all. You should never have any hope with teams like that are like that. Like bad GMs, bad head coaches, like
mhm.
bad players, like bad locker rooms. Like their locker room is horrible. Like there's been multiple post game interviews where like they're some of their big guys are just like, we got to be better. Like this is bullshit, basically.
Yeah,
Um,
it's not looking. The vibes are not immaculate.
but yeah, I mean, Jets fans every year they're like, oh, we got
Right.
Rodgers, we got fucking this guy, that guy. Middle of the year they were like, we got Devontae Adams, everything's gonna be okay. He's gonna fix all our problems. He hasn't done anything, and he's been mostly irrelevant since he joined the Jets too. So
Yeah, it's one of those things where they might legitimately be an offensive line and a quarterback away from being good,
yeah,
right? But at the same time, those just seem to be two pieces that are eluding them for the past 5 to 7 years,
yeah,
especially.
yeah,
Like, I don't know. They really blew it when Rodgers tore his Achilles by not trading for Cousins. I know
hmm
Cousins ended up tearing his Achilles later, but at the same time, they blew it by not trading for Cousins.
yeah, agreed. I thought that was a
And
move that they should make as well.
because if you have a competent quarterback last year, they were like their defense was good last year,
Yeah,
really good.
yeah, they were good. They were good. They were a good team aside from their quarterback situation.
And yeah, yeah, I don't know. It's not one of those things where I think that it's going to be very dependent on what Rodgers decides
Yeah,
heading into next year,
yeah.
right? Like I think he can just decide to come back. I think they're kind of just on the hook for him. If he decides not to come back, or if they find a way to get out of his contract or whatever they can do, it'll be interesting to see if they can find someone
Yeah,
actually
they're
decent.
in such a weird spot too. Like
They're basically
they're
just in no man's land.
they're not gonna want to tank because they still have like I'm sure they still have some semblance of hope.
Hmm,
Um, so yeah, like they're not gonna be in a position to draft a quarterback next year. They're in a weird spot with Rodgers. Like they're next year is just gonna be a throwaway year, honestly, unless Rodgers comes back and is phenomenal again. But I don't see that happening
no.
at this point. Plus they have to find a new head coach. They have to find a new GM. They have to fill all these holes and fix all these things. Like that doesn't all just happen in one season and then everything's back to, oh, we're playoff contenders. We're
Yeah.
gonna go out and like you're gonna have a first year head coach. You're gonna have a first year GM. Like as much as you want to say like we'll be okay, you can't like those are big hoops to jump through.
Hmm. It'd be kind
So
of funny if they got Belichick though, with
he
all the
would,
crap that with the resignation of him, what, over 2 decades ago that led up to him going to the Patriots. That would be kind of funny.
yeah. I don't think he would ever do it, but I
No,
do think that would be funny.
it would
Yeah.
be really funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
Definitely.
that he'd avoid the AFC East like the plague when he's
Yeah.
picking his next team.
Yeah.
Just
I
I don't.
mean, he has ownership over all those teams anyways,
Yeah,
so
I think he's smart enough to know that he does not want to have to play. Not because the Patriots are going to be good, but not to have to play the Patriots twice a year every.
right. Right. Because
So
then there's just always a story and oh, how does it feel to be playing your former team you coach, blah blah
yeah,
blah, all this,
it
blah.
becomes a distraction.
Oh, you and Robert Kraft, this, that, the other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, this spring we're gonna look like dumbasses because it's gonna be announced that he's signed to be the New York Jets, and
Yeah.
we're gonna just, we're gonna have to eat our ass. It's like, look at us, we're smart. Oh
Jeez.
yeah, yeah. No, I think it's been an interesting season so far, man. We're
Agreed.
we're well past the midway point.
Yeah.
I'm feeling good about the Steelers.
Yeah.
It feels good to
Yeah.
have a quarterback. And by all
Pickens has
rights,
been
he's not
balling.
going anywhere next year. He already has made it clear he wants to come back again next year. Obviously, he's going to be another year into his 30s, which
Yep.
is never super exciting because
But he's Mr.
he
Unlimited.
is Mr. Unlimited. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, I think it'll be interesting to see what happens with Fields, to be honest.
Yeah, that would be yeah, pretty interesting. We'll see where
Because
he
he was
ends
playing
up.
well. I think that he could turn what he was doing into another opportunity to try and start somewhere else.
Yeah. I'm surprised like people haven't like reached out, tried to like trade for him, honestly. Like the
Honestly,
Giants.
I don't think the Steelers would even remotely entertain a trade right now for Fields.
Fair.
Just because even though Wilson's playing well,
Well, I mean
like
trade deadline's up anyways, so
they're like officially in like buying mode because they're like, yeah, we're going all in right now.
yeah.
And so I don't know unless like they're getting,
Well,
you
also
know,
they like have worked him into sets too now, which I thought was weird.
yeah, like on the fourth
That
down.
was that was interesting, I thought.
Yeah. I mean, I think they kind of, it was one of those things where it's like, will they do it? Won't they do it? I think, especially with understanding Russ's mobility limitations at this point in his career,
Yeah,
late in game, it's so valuable when you're just trying to run the clock out to have
fair.
Fields.
It just has another option for the defense too. To be like,
Yeah.
oh, he's on the field. Like we have to account for him now too.
Yeah. So
Fair. Yeah.
it'll be interesting. But yeah, got Thursday night. Just got to get past those Browns. I hate Myles Garrett.
I know you do.
I hate him because of what he did to you. I hope you know that.
I know. I know you do. I know. I know that's what spurred it. And I appreciate that too, by the way. Thank
I
you for
don't
looking
even
out for me.
remember what it was he was saying. He was like talking shit about TJ Watt or something like that.
Who was Miles Garrett?
Yeah,
When?
earlier this week or something, because it's Browns week.
What a scumbag.
It's just like, dude,
Your team
dude
stinks,
commits
buddy.
assault on a football field,
Yeah.
which who would have thought that that's possible because it's a football field?
Right.
I don't know. I just
I
hate.
still remember that night because we recorded a pod for the Spartan Sports podcast, and that was funny.
I think that was like the first time we brought up that you look like Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, yeah, and Zach was fired up about it too.
Yeah, yeah, he was.
That was funny.
Oh my God, that was so funny. But yeah, I don't know. I think that part of what annoys me so much about it is like Miles Garrett stands on Twitter who have
Hmm.
to constantly be like, TJ Watt doesn't get doubled, which he gets chipped every single play,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Like, whether it's a tight end or a running back, they're sending someone to just throw their body at him and then run a route. Like
Yes.
maybe that doesn't get recorded as a double team, but it's also harder to to double team a guy on that side of the line because just
Right. And
how it
chipping
works.
someone is just as, if not more effective than double teaming
hmm
someone, I would say
Like
too.
you're just throwing
So,
him off balance. Like
exactly.
I don't know. It's just dumb because they just don't shut up about. It's Miles Garrett stands and Micah Parsons
I
stands.
know, I know. There's a big argument between TJ Watt fans, Miles Garrett fans, and Micah Parsons fans about who's better and why, and double team rates and pressures and sacks. and all this other. I trust me, I see it all the time on Twitter. I know exactly what you're talking about.
My only thing is TJ Watt comes up clutch. He has those clutch moments.
He
That's
does. He
that's my
does.
argument. I could care less about double team numbers, like I'm not ever going to argue against how good Myles Garrett and Micah Parsons are. They are very
I mean,
good.
they're great. Yeah.
My argument is TJ Watt makes the play when it really counts. So,
I and also from like an outsider looking in, I would say TJ Watt is more valuable on a better team.
yeah.
If that if that makes sense. If you
He
get what
also
I'm
doesn't
trying to
rush
say.
every play.
Right.
He has plays where he has to drop back into coverage because they don't run a 4-3 defense.
Right. He's more valuable to his team than they are to their team, and his team is 8-2. So that I think that should just speak
Yeah.
volumes of like
The
how good he actually is.
the Steelers win-loss record with TJ Watt versus without TJ Watt never
Yeah.
never ceases to amaze me.
Yeah, no, it's insane. It's literally insane how big of a difference he makes.
hmm So yeah,
Um, yeah.
I don't know, not to get too complainy. It's just
No, no,
Browns
that's
are on my
fair.
mind this
It's
week.
it's a gripe that you have. Yeah,
I hope that
understandably
Jameis
so.
throws 12 interceptions.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do if he just absolutely torches you guys?
Cry, probably.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like I'm not a huge Jameis person. Like
I
I don't
never
know.
understood the hype either, honestly.
I feel like people just kind of forget about the shit that's happened with him and are just like, oh, the vibes are immaculate with him. And it's
Yeah,
like, it's kind of not talk about Florida State and some of the shit he did. Uh,
I don't really know what you're talking about, but I'm just gonna say, yeah,
yeah, things
we don't have,
happened.
we don't have to get into it. I'm sure he did some scumbag stuff or whatever.
I mean, it's one of those things that's all alleged, you know.
Right.
But yeah, I think people just not that, you know,
They want to talk about what kind of locker room guy he is and how he eats the
yeah.
W and
They're like, oh,
does the
all he did
like
was steal some crab legs, it's no big deal.
pump up speech and all this stuff. Like, yeah, I get it. I think it's like kind of corny the
I
way that
get
he
the
does it.
personality is interesting, like
Yeah.
he's certainly got a unique personality.
No, definitely. He definitely does.
He's
Yeah.
not good.
No, he's
He,
not.
I don't know. It's just,
We'll see. I think the Steelers win pretty convincingly. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah,
Uh,
The Browns are ass.
yeah, it is an AFC North game, which to be fair, they're a little different, but still, like the Browns are horrible this year. So
Yeah. I don't imagine it being particularly close. And yeah, especially just with how on fire the Steelers are.
yeah,
I, it's just not gonna. Oh, I got faith. I believe in them. Who the
yeah.
Lions got this week?
Who Lions got? They have the Colts
Oh,
and
easy dub.
AR-15.
AR5.
Yeah, is that it?
Yeah, he's 5 now. Joe Flacco's 15.
Why is he 5? And they switched?
No, Richardson started with 5. And he
Oh,
was never. I don't know. I don't know why he didn't take 15. I don't think 15 was taken when he was drafted.
am I wrong that that was his name?
That because he was 15 at Florida. That's why I was
Okay,
at
okay.
15.
I'm just gonna call him AR-15 anyways. But yeah, I feel like the Lions should win by probably like 10 points. I'm not gonna
Oh yeah.
lie. That's my guess. Lions by
Yeah.
10. You got a sneaky good game of the week that we should pay attention to here?
You mean a sneaky blowout of the week?
Yeah,
Um, my sneaky my sneaky good game of the week. Let's see. What do I got?
I swear if you say this game. There's like some decent matchups this week. They're kind of weird though. I feel like it's like kind of like lopsided.
Yeah, you know what? You know what I think is going to be a sneaky good game?
What?
Broncos Raiders. Sneaky good game.
Really?
Sneaky good game. I liked what the Raiders did last week.
I think that
No,
means
I'm not going
I
to
think
sit here and
that
be like, "Oh, they're going to be great,"
I
but
think that means like Broncos by like 3 scores, honestly.
I think it could be an intriguing, close. game.
I didn't know if you were going to get ballsy and try and say Kansas City, Carolina, or something crazy like that.
No, no. Listen,
To be fair, New England, Miami might actually be a really good game to watch.
yeah, I did when I was looking at it, I didn't think sneaky because I feel like they're
Yeah,
so on par
in
with each other.
division, yeah, fair.
They've just been on par with each other in terms of performance. That's why,
That's fair. That's fair. I get your thought process now with the pick with Denver and the Raiders. Okay, I got you.
like, I feel like it's one of those Denver has just objectively been better than the Raiders, but also it's a
Right,
division game.
right.
You know, I don't know. I feel like Antonio Pierce, not a good head coach.
Yeah, no, unfortunate, but because he
Like,
did seem like a pretty cool guy.
I don't think that he's a bad coach. I think that he's certainly a motivator,
Yeah,
but
he's a good locker room coach. He's a good players coach, definitely, I would
he
say.
needs, if he were to have success as a head coach, he would need to have guys
Yeah,
as
like
his coordinators.
talent around him,
Guys
and
as his coordinators, like capital G guys, like they're becoming a head coach next year, guys.
yeah, yeah. Okay, I get what you're saying now. Yeah, definitely.
So
Like Ben Johnson and Aaron
yeah,
Glenn around
like
him,
let's
essentially.
let's not sit here and pretend like Dan Campbell's a huge X's and O's guy, right? Like,
Right, right. No, I mean, obviously,
but he's a
I think
good CEO of the team.
right,
He's figured out where to put guys and get the most out of them.
right. Create a locker room atmosphere
Yeah,
and create,
yeah.
yeah, everything like that.
So
So
yeah. What's your disgusting game of the week? I want to know. Don't say Broncos Raiders. I already took that.
no, I won't say Broncos Raiders. Disgusting game of the week, man. That's a good question. That's a good question. I think I have one in mind right now, that I'm gonna go with, and I think that's gonna be Tampa Bay versus the Giants. Um,
You don't believe in the return of the Italian?
no, I think Tommy DeVito is pretty trash. Um, I just think it's gonna be like I think it's probably gonna be a blowout. I think Tampa Bay wins pretty convincingly. That I know they're 4-6, but I think they're a lot better than what their record says.
Yeah, I think Mike Evans is
Um,
supposed to be back
yeah,
too, which will be
yeah,
huge for them. Like they've been missing having a playmaker at receiver.
yeah. And Bucky Irving has been really good
Yeah.
this year too, and Baker's obviously been just kind of balling out, honestly. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that DeVito struggles in his when he comes back, and Baker Baker has a
Is
good
there
game.
is there an actual reason why they're not starting Drew Lock? Drew Lock's been the backup the whole season.
I just feel like because like DeVito kind of has the hype with like the whole Italian thing and everything like that. They
But
might,
if you've been having Locke be the backup, I'm assuming he's the backup because he's the better quarterback.
right?
Are they just trying to lose now? Like, is that why
I
Todd
don't
Gurley is going in?
I
Like,
don't know.
I
It
don't
was
know.
smart. So it's smart to bench Daniel Jones because I've heard that like the way his contract works, that if he gets hurt, then they have to pay out all his
There's more
money that they owe
guarantees.
him.
Yeah.
But if he's healthy, then they can take the cap hit and cut their ties with him and move on.
And I mean, it's fair because they've been bad,
Yeah.
right? It's not like, not to like be super Russ friendly, but like last year when the Broncos just benched Russ, even though like they weren't really that terrible,
Yeah, that was kind of crazy move. But yeah,
that was
no, it
just
definitely,
weird
yeah.
shit going on. But like the Giants have been legitimately bad.
Yeah,
So
no, they're bad. And Daniel Jones has not been close to good either. So it just it all makes sense. And yeah, I mean I guess it doesn't all make sense because like the DeVito move, like you said, Locke's been the backup, but um I don't know. Maybe he's just a really good backup. They have him listed as the backup for this game too. So
yeah, I think I saw
I
something
don't
like
know.
Jones is taking QB4 reps in practice.
Really.
That's what I saw. I
Who's
don't know
QB?
how true that
I
is.
want to know who QB3 is, like the punter.
There's probably some guy in their practice squad.
Right. Sneaky good game. I mean, it's prime. If it's a prime time game, is that like able to be a sneaky good game? I feel like there's been some kind of crappy games on prime time.
I think,
I feel like the Eagles Rams game is going to be really good.
yeah, I think it's gonna depend. Like, I don't know. The Eagles seem to be hitting their stride. The Rams are always frisky, even
Yeah,
if they're not winning. They always seem to be one of those teams that just hangs around with people.
yeah,
I see that.
yeah. I just think it's gonna be a good game. I think it's gonna be competitive. I don't know if the Rams are gonna win, but I think it's gonna. I think it's not gonna be a blowout by any means.
Yeah.
Like it'll be a good primetime game to watch.
Yeah. I feel like the only games that I'm like convinced just aren't going to be very good are like the Buccaneers Giants game. Like I don't think that's going to be a good game.
Yeah,
Cowboys Commanders probably not going to be a very good game,
that game's gonna stink.
and like Titans Texans, and that's
Yep.
probably it.
Yep,
Like I
that's
feel like all
exactly
the
it.
other games have a very good chance of being competitive games.
Yep. That's exactly where my head went when I was thinking of games for
Yeah.
this week. Baltimore Chargers is going to be hopefully a good game Monday night too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That'll be cool. See J.K. Dobbins get his revenge game.
Oh yeah, yeah,
You
I
know how
forgot
much
about
I
that.
love my
Yeah,
revenge games,
yes, you are quite the fan of revenge games.
especially if the guy was barely on the team. I love those revenge games.
Yeah, yeah, those are your favorite. I know.
Yeah. The Andy Dalton revenge game against the Bears, immaculate.
You're funny, man. Uh, well, it was nice chopping it up, man.
I
It's
know
been
it's
a
been too
minute.
long. Been too long.
Been a minute.
Let me,
Uh, Kitty.
you know,
Hello,
um,
Lucy.
she'll be on camera now for a minute because she was annoying me the entire recording. So say hi.
She's
Oh,
so cute. What a good kitty.
I know. We're so happy she's not dying.
I know. I'm so happy she's not dying too.
She
I'm
has a
excited
bald
to
spot now.
meet her.
I know.
That's
She's
gonna be exciting. I'm gonna give her lots of pets. I like kitties.
Oh yeah. Right, Lucy? She'll like you. She likes dudes.
Cool. Awesome.
But yeah. Well, everyone at home, we are
You
on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend. If you share with a friend, Tyler will kiss the camera next episode. If we get to 100 views on YouTube,
ooh.
yeah, a little lofty. We don't get that
100, 100.
many.
Okay.
If we
What's
get to
up?
100 views on YouTube, I will give Lucy an entire can of wet food. So
Let's get Lucy her entire can of wet food because she deserves it.
yeah, she's been on a
Don't
diet.
do it. Don't do it for us. Don't do it for
Do it for
us.
Lucy. She's been
Do
on
it
a
for the
diet all
do it
year. You
for
know,
the kitty.
she
Do it
was a
for
very
Lucy.
fat cat when I first got her, so
She's down some LBs. She deserves a treat. Let's get 100
the
views.
cat
Let's
can have a
get
little treat when we get to 100 views.
share with friends. I'll kiss the screen, the camera, whatever. The next episode will be a movie.
And I did lie to you guys all about this is the big secret. So you know how I said I promised a surprise at the end of October to everybody, Tyler? You know what my surprise was? Us not recording for for
Yeah,
a few weeks.
yeah, yeah. Big surprise. Hey, got you guys. Ha!
Ah,
Joke's on you.
got him. No,
Uh,
we're
good
still in
one.
the works. We'll figure it out. It'll happen
Yeah, still in the
quickly.
works. Yeah,
But we still came with a surprise at the end of October
yeah.
for our loyal listener.
I got a surprise at the end of October. Well, not
Yeah,
really the
Tyler,
end
you
of
want to tell you
October.
want to tell the people the
Beginning
exciting
of
news?
November. I accepted an offer to work at Michigan State University full time. So fired up about it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Amazing.
that's it. I won't add anything else, but I'm fired up about it and long time coming. Very rewarding feeling.
If we get to a
So
thousand views on this video, I will get Tyler fired by his new job.
oh man, please don't.
Yeah, so my computer took a shit. Yeah, so we abruptly ended, I guess. Like, comment, subscribe, Apple Podcast, Spotify, YouTube, you know. Everyone congratulate Tyler in the comments for his job. He's pretty excited. So, peace.